Hi, and welcome to this instructional video about how to make accessible PowerPoint presentations. This information is intended for people producing PowerPoint presentations while using screen reading programs. This video is focused on keyboard navigation. If you rely on visual access of the monitor and use a mouse to navigate, we have a separate video focused on how to create accessible PowerPoint presentations using the mouse. To ensure that a PowerPoint presentation is accessible, two main things are needed. First, alt tags or text descriptions for all images and other multimedia elements. Second, the objects on the slides need to be organized in a logical reading order when navigated via the keyboard. Here is an example of a slide that has been created without accessibility in mind. I have on the screen a slide with a centered heading at the top, some bullet points to the left of the slide below the heading, a picture on the right of the slide next to the bullet points, and a second picture centered at the bottom of the slide. I'm going to move through this slide with a screen reader so you can hear how it is read.
Tab, title, placeholder, shape, creating accessible PowerPoint presentations. Tab, graphic. Tab, object, placeholder, shape, adding alt text to images. Content organized in logical reading order. Tab, graphic.
You can hear that information is read out in a random order, and there is no information provided about the images. To make images accessible to people with visual impairments, a text description or alt tag is needed for each image within the presentation so that screen readers will have something to read aloud or send to a braille display. Without an alt tag, a screen reader will just say image without any indication of what that image contains. Here is an example of what a screen reader will say for an image that does not have an alt tag.
Tab, graphic.
To create alt text for images in your slides, do the following. Tab through the slide objects until you get to the image or graphic and activate the context menu with the application key or by pressing Shift plus F10.
Cut T.
I've pressed Shift plus F10 and the context menu is now open. Arrow down to the Format Picture option and press Enter, or press the shortcut O. I'm going to press the shortcut O.
O. Creating accessible.pptx PowerPoint. Format object toolbar. Shadow toggle button not pressed.
The focus will change to the Format Picture task pane. If focus is in the data grid, use the left and right arrow keys to move to Size and Properties. If not, press Tab until you get to the data grid.
Shift plus Tab. Data grid. Effects. Right arrow. Size and Properties.
Then press Tab until you get to the Alt Text toggle. And if it is not checked, press Enter to do this.
Tab. Size toggle button not pressed. Tab. Position toggle button not pressed. Tab. Text box toggle button not pressed. Tab. Alt text toggle button not pressed.
And this is not pressed, so I will press Enter.
Enter pressed.
Continue to press Tab until you get to the description field, or press the shortcut D to jump there and fill in the description. I'm going to continue pressing Tab.
Tab. Title edit blank. Tab. Description edit multi-line blank.
And now I'm going to type in my alt text for this image.
TAE space OORD space ACCESSIBILITY space IN space CONTACTEDBAILLE dot.
The process of developing image descriptions should be informed by guidelines. These guidelines can be accessed at the Diagram Center Image Description Guidelines. See the description beneath this video for a direct link to these image description guidelines. To close the format pane when you are done, you can press Ctrl plus space and then C. You can also press F6 to cycle back to the slideshow while leaving this pane visible. I'm going to close the task pane with Control plus space.
Slide 1, creating accessible PowerPoint presentations. Slide view. Slide 1, creating accessible PowerPoint presentations. Slide view. Graphic the word accessibility in control C. Graphic the word accessibility.
Now I'm going to follow those same steps again to add to alt text to the second image within this slide. First, I'm going to tab to it.
Tab. Object placeholder shape adding alt text to images. Content organized in tab. Graphic.
Now I'm going to press Shift F10 to open the context menu.
Shift T.
And now that the context menu is open, I'm going to press O to open the Format Picture pane.
O. Creating accessible .pptx PowerPoint. Format object toolbar. Shadow toggle button not pressed.
I am not on the data grid, so I'm going to press Shift Tab to get there.
Shift plus tab. Data grid. Effects.
I'm going to use the arrow keys to find size and properties.
Right arrow. Size and properties. Size and properties.
Now I'm going to press Tab until I get to alt text.
Tab. Size toggle button not pressed. Tab. Position toggle button not pressed. Tab. Text box toggle button not pressed. Tab. Alt text toggle button pressed.
Now the alt text button is already pressed, so I don't need to press enter at this point. I can continue pressing Tab.
Tab. Title edit blank. Tab. Description edit multi-line blank.
And now I'm at the description edit field, so I can type in my description of this image.
PRCVI space LOGO.
Now to close the pane, I'm going to press Control and space.
Slide 1, creating accessible PowerPoint presentations. Slide view. Slide 1, create.
And now C.
C. Graphic PRCVI logo.
Now we'll discuss how to make a slide navigable with the keyboard. A screen reader user will navigate through a slide by tabbing through its various objects, such as headers, main section, pictures, and tables. The order in which these elements appear visually may not correspond to the order in which they are moved through with the tab key. You can tab through objects on your slide to see whether they are in the most logical reading order.
Tab. Title placeholder shape creating accessible PowerPoint presentations. Tab. Graphic the word accessibility in contracted braille. Tab. Object placeholder shape adding alt text to images. Content organized in logical reading order. Tab. Graphic PRCVI logo.
If objects need to be reordered, there are two ways of doing this. One is to use the Bring to Front and Send to Back options, and one is to use the Selection pane. When bringing objects to the front or sending them to the back, those near the front are read last, with those near the back read first. To use these options, select the object you wish to move and then activate the context menu by pressing the Application key or Shift plus F10. Use the arrow keys to move down this menu until you get to the Send to Front and Send to Back options.
Tab. Title placeholder tab. Graphic the word accessibility in contracted braille.
So I've now focused on the object I want to move.
Shift T.
I've activated the context menu with Shift F10. And I'm going to arrow down to Bring to Front, since I want this object to be read last.
Down arrow, copy C. Down arrow, change picture A. Down arrow, group unavailable submenu G. Down arrow, bring to front grouping. Bring to front split button enter.
If you wish to move an object all the way to the front or all the way to the back, you can do so by pressing enter on this context menu. If you wish to move an object one step forward or one step backwards, relative to other objects on the slide, you can do that by activating the submenu options. In this case, I want to move this object all the way to the front, so I'm just going to press enter.
Enter. Slide 1, creating accessible PowerPoint presentations. Slide view. Graphic the word accessibility in contracted braille.
If there are many objects on the slide, and you are not sure of their reading order, you can activate the Selection pane to get an overview of their tab order. To display the Selection pane, activate the Home ribbon, then the Arrange split button, and in the menu that appears, arrow down to the option Selection pane. Or press the keyboard shortcut Alt, then H, then G, and then P. I'm going to use the shortcut keys. Alt,
Ribbon tabs tab control phone tab Alt H.
Then H,
H.
then G,
G. Bring to front, bring the selected object in front of all other objects. Alt H G R.
and then P.
P. Selection toolbar pane. Show all button.
Within this pane are buttons to show and hide items, move objects forward and back, and a list of all objects on the slide. Move between these options by pressing Tab.
Tab. Hide all button. Tab. Bring forward button. Bring forward. Tab. Send backward button. Send backward. Tab. Tree view. Picture for level 1.
Within the list of objects, in this case called a tree view, use the up and down arrows to move through the list and select an object with Enter. You can then tab to the Bring Forward or Send Backward buttons and activate them with Enter.
Down arrow. Picture 5 not selected level 1. Down arrow. Content placeholder 2 not selected level 1. Down arrow. Title 1 not selected level 1.
In this case, since I have already moved my object all the way forward, I don't want to move it any farther. To close the selection pane, press Ctrl plus space, and arrow down to close, or press the shortcut C.
Move button M. C. Slide 1. Creating accessible PowerPoint presentations. Slide view. Graphic the word accessibility in contracted braille.
We can now press Tab to move through these objects and see that they are in the correct reading order.
Tab. Title placeholder shape. Creating accessible PowerPoint presentations. Tab. Object placeholder shape adding alt text to images. Content organized in logical reading order. Tab. Graphic PRCVI logo. Tab. Graphic the word accessibility in contracted braille.
Thank you for taking the time to learn about creating accessible educational materials. For more resources, visit arc-bc.org/universaldesign, arc-bc.org/UNIVERSALDESIGN.